As Islam's unstoppable influence keeps spreading everywhere, the French government seems to have decided to fight the religion's influence on social media itself and with the collaboration of the platforms. Yeah, they're actively paying and encouraging social media platforms and influencers to portray negatively about Islam, especially the hijab.
Je vous demande de bien vouloir demander à cette personne de retirer son voile.
Pour moi, la femme, elle n'est pas voilée. Moi, elle n'est pas sous une prison de tissu.
Il n'y a aucune race née avec un foulard sur la tête.
Le voile n'est pas un bout de tissu, le voile est un bout de charia.
Ce que vous faites ce soir aux 40% de musulmans qui se sentent mal. Mais ils se sentent mal de quoi?
L'islam est tout à fait aux antipodes de la France.
Il n'avez pas honte?
Non, j'ai pas honte du tout.
As Malcolm X once said, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power. Because they control the minds of the masses. These words are more correct in the current times than they ever were before. However, when in the past governments could spread any information they wanted through the television, nowadays social media exist and they offer an unprecedented opportunity for the innocent to defend against the accusations of the guilty. And governments have well understood how dangerous those tools are to their ability to control the narrative and make people believe whatever is convenient to the official agenda. An example of that is how France, in its never-ending struggle to impose a secular dogma on everyone, has decided to target social media and most specifically TikTok. In order to fight every aspect of Islam, the country has deemed inappropriate in the current secular liberal order. It is well known around the world that for Muslims, a day does not go by in the country without being mentioned negatively. But whereas in official media, Muslims have no voice to defend themselves. In social media, they are more vocal than ever, and a multitude of courageous young brothers and sisters produce videos daily in order to advise the Muslims of France by teaching Muslims how to pray at school and how to bypass hijab interdictions and how to live your religion without compromise, despite anti-constitutional rulings that befall Muslims from every corner. Those influencers show that standing up to bullies is still very much an option. It is then no surprise that, threatened by the rise of voices of truth all around the internet, the French government felt its monopoly on media crumbling and decided to take action against Islam on social media itself, but with means available only to governments. And over a year ago, TikTok France was received by the Secretary of State for Youth in order to discuss the rise of videos calling to wearing the hijab and praying inside of schools. Prayer and hijab are two fundamental parts of Islam, one of which being an absolute obligation, and the other one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It seems, however, that such practices that serve to bring the slave closer to his Lord and that impact nobody other than the practitioner are frowned upon by Secretary of State Sarah El-Harry, who does not hide that the visit of the TikTok representatives was not to discuss potentially dangerous content, but exclusively the matter of Islam on TikTok. She admitted, as well as having asked the TikTok representatives for better moderation and signaling tools for such content that only strives to better people. While TikTok is a private company based in China and has for now no legal obligation to cater to the baseless fears of the French government, according to the secretary, they responded positively to the demands. She says the exchange has been constructive. They, the TikTok representatives, are aware of the consequences linked to the proliferation of such content and seem determined to work with the government. So much for free speech. Those videos produced by private citizens on a free social media platform have been called by the secretary an attack to secularism, and the French government clearly keeps a close eye on posts of an Islamic nature on social media. The very basic, fundamental parts of the religion of God are seen as a threat. And the same country that seems to always be defending free speech when it comes to insulting Islam and its messenger, peace be upon him, has decided to pressure social media platforms to moderate content that helps Muslims practice their religion. But in addition to moderation and signaling of Islamic content, the French government also plans on producing content in order to spread their values and fight the efforts of the Islamic youth that is trying to live its religion and spread its message in peace. On that subject, the secretary adds, those thousands of videos lead to an attack on secularism because they become viral. In response, I call for a Republican virality on the very same platforms with the same tools. Then, as the French government publicly announces its social media plans when it comes to dealing with Islam, it is no surprise to see flourishing on social media a ton of accounts that seems to specialize in posting negatively about Islam. The social media war seems to be on between truth and falsehood. But as we know, falsehood always perishes, and truth, in the end, always wins, inshallah.